Hey everybody, welcome back to the Comic Wall. It's your girl, the Outcast Angel, and today let's talk about issue 2 of Unnatural by Mirka Andolfo. Now, starting off this issue, we're kind of tossed into the middle of this trial between Sinclair and Bosch, and so turns out these two are a couple, but they're a couple. Excuse me, they're a mixed species couple, which, as we've learned from the first issue, is incredibly illegal in in this world that Mirka Andolfo has created, and it's just so weird to think about because, like, the whole thing is just wrong, like not in the sense that they think, but wrong in the sense that it kind of has a mix on the way interracial, I guess, interracial couples were treated back in the 60s, and even now still, and the way the LGBT community is treated as well, like between gays, lesbians, the whole idea of, love is love, and just the fact that they're two different animals, they're being criminalized for loving who they want to love, but in this world they have this system of reproduction in which, of course, you can only reproduce with your same species, or so it says in the series. And so the punishment for these offenses, as they call them, are pretty, like, their first offense is to be sentenced to 5 years in prison, to be served at what they call the reproduction program's beautiful deviance rehabilitation centers. But the two time offenders are automatically, they faced a death penalty, and that's just crazy. And considering the fact that a lot of people have fought for this, for LGBT, for the LGBT community, and for interracial couples. So seeing this play out in a series like this, in with all the fixings of these other discriminations, it's crazy to think about. It's scary. And we also see this koala, I guess he is. Turns out he's the leader of this society, and we see him here just saying, "And remember, dear citizens, all animals are equal as long as they respect the law and nature." Then there's really no equality there, is there? And so as they're led out of the courthouse, we see, like, this crowd of just paparazzi, press, and everything, and people are just screaming at them like perverts. They'll never change. Free Bosch and Sinclair. They can't change. Send them to the slaughterhouse. This is brutal. And turns out all of this is video that, or news footage that Leslie is watching, and we met Leslie last issue. She's the main character, the pig one, and so she's obviously torn up about this because of the fact that since she turned 25 last issue, she has automatically been chosen to participate in the reproduction program, in the reproduction programs. So she's automatically being like, set up on a blind date in order to find a suitable suitor, I guess, to spend the rest of her life with. And this is just disgusting, really. It's just as bad as, like, arranged marriage, And so she's pretty upset about it. And we see Trish, her friend, coming in, trying to make her feel better, but she almost seems inconsolable because it's bad. I mean, imagine being forced to marry someone you don't love or you have no connection with. I mean, yeah, back in the day it was, I guess, essential, or well, that's kind of what they would tell, like, that's kind of what they would tell girls about that, like, oh, marry a strong rich man and you never have to work a day in your life. But I want to work, like, I don't need no man to take care of me. But here we see that Leslie is kind of giving thought to the idea of going through with this, but at the same time she's scared. You know, like um, what if she's like, what if we don't like each other? And Trish is just like, come on, Les, don't be like that. How could he not love your big beautiful eyes? Not to mention your cool blue hair, which turns out to be her actual hair color, which is pretty cool. I would love blue hair. And as Trish is talking to Leslie, trying to comfort her, Leslie drifts off to a memory when she was a little piglet, when she was sick and her parents are taking care of her. And in this memory, her dad is leaving on a business trip. And in the middle of the night, she wakes up and decides to go, climb into bed with her mom. But as she's approaching her mom's room, she hears moaning. And turns out the mom is cheating on the dad with a lion. And of course, both parents are pigs. And in this story, this would be illegal, you know. And turns out, her parents met through the reproduction program, so they had to kind of marry each other. They didn't really have a choice. And so here we even hear her saying, sometimes I get angry just seeing how much Leslie looks like him. Like we've gotten too comfortable with this, but Phil's an idiot. I think he knows. I bet he does. I bet he does, and I bet he's even doing the same thing on his business trip to get back at me. And this messed Leslie up. So this whole idea about the reproduction program is pretty scary because she's seen how it can fail. In other words. But Trish is being a good friend. She's like, you don't have to be scared, Les. Just because I'm realistic about your situation doesn't mean I don't want the best for you. If you meet an idiot, I'll be there to put my foot up his ass. It'll work out, Les. It really will. And this gives Les a bit of confidence. So she decides, you know what? Let's go on this app and see who they have in mind for me. But on this app, this guy's profile doesn't have any pictures or any real information on him. I mean, it shows that they have a lot in common, but it's just weird that he doesn't have a picture, at least. So then Derek, Leslie's coworker and friend, it actually drives her over to the reproduction program, to get ready for her so-called date. And so as she gets there, Trish actually messages her saying good luck, and wherever Trish is she's at work. She's getting in trouble with her boss for using her phone in the first place. Turns out she's trying to find some information or something that can help her and Leslie understand these dreams that she's been having, these very erotic dreams that have been plaguing her for a while, And so finally she comes up to the idea, hey, maybe I should check out a bookstore. They could tell me something that the internet does it, which of course books are the best knowledge versus the internet. Poking around this bookstore, she actually runs into the owner, which is Miss Weigold, and she has a whole lot of books. She has she even has a good memory as to every book in her store. So with a little information of from Trish saying that, oh, I'm asking for a friend, she tells her about the dream, and they end up looking through everything else. But when Trish mentions the part of Leslie with her blue hair and the white wolf of her dreams, she gets the store owner gets an idea and decides to bring Trish to the back of the store. And we actually leave them for a minute to see how Trish is doing at the reproduction program's Real Love Center. And this place is scary. I mean, it looks like, just a little, like a huge ballroom that, they have, just like blind dates in or something. But in the middle of this room, there's a giant statue of this so-called leader, and I don't even think we know his name yet. But Leslie's pretty intimidated by this, and to make matters worse, this squirrel guy comes in, and he's like, "I'm Virgil, your social assistant, excuse me. Basically, you're Cupid." I'll be your guide in this noble quest for a life mate. And she seems a little, uh, well, intimidated by him. Like maybe she thinks he's cute, but he's not really that cute, even for a squirrel. But he's pretty much there to help her understand the whole process of this. And again, we jump away from that back to Trish and Miss Weigold, and while they're having tea, she presents a book to Trish of what is it called? It's She says it's the story of a wonderful forgotten land. This book is very rare these days, since these days some of its contents are considered to be against nature, unnatural, some would say. Anyway, she Trish looks through the book, and there's a picture in the book of a pig with blue hair and a white wolf, possibly getting married. And so, obviously, both of these women are kind of shocked. Do you believe in coincidence? Because I don't. And so, Trish finally has a lead on, you know, helping uh, helping Leslie understand these dreams. And so she finally heads home to, present her findings to Leslie whenever she can. Now, back with Leslie, we see Virgil leading her to a limo that's going to take her to another facility, or they call it an external facility. And first off, that's just a terrifying name. Like, I'm not going anywhere with you to somewhere you call an external facility. That's just creepy. But off to the side, we see this hooded figure hiding next to a building watching her. But turns out this hooded figure is being watched too by the cops. And so they ask for identification, but he refuses and tries to fight back, leading to him getting tasered. And so while the cops are, cuffing him, one of the cops says, "Wait, what the hell is this? Are you stalking that pig or hunting her?" And turns out he had a gun on him. So who is this guy? We saw him for a minute in issue 1, and what's gonna happen from here? Like, it's things are just getting crazy. But that's the end of this issue, and I'm excited to be covering with this with y'all. My boyfriend actually got me interested in this series because it was like, hey, you would, I think you would like this, because it had the promo had something to do with like, hey, do you like Saga? You'll love this. And I was like, okay, I'll try it. But I'm glad I picked it up. It's a pretty good story, and it's interesting to see this whole utopian style society working out. Well, not working out, because obviously it's people are trying to fight it. But that's the end of this video. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys liked it, and if you did, drop a like, show the love, hit that subscribe button to get more of my videos, ring the bell to get notifications of when I post new videos, so that way you guys stay updated and don't miss out. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.